So why do we need psychological safety? Psychological safety is the core tenet of any innovative culture. We are all capable of having great ideas. We are all capable of knowing what might go wrong with a project, but we are not as good as that in getting those ideas out of our hand. Using the process of psychological safety, that's going to help us to avoid errors. When somebody sees something and says something, this gonna lead us to predict errors and eradicate them. It's gonna foster innovation. Great, that $1 million idea that somebody in the company might have has no value if it stays in their brain. They have to get it out so the team or the organization can act on it and put it into practice. It also helps foster diversity, belonging, and inclusion. It's really important for people to feel like they have the right to speak and they not being afraid to be expressing their authentic self and to feel that they are included in the conversation. So psychological safety is something that is highly thought of in an innovative organization right now. But how do you know that you are lacking psychological safety? The first, some of the clear signs that you might need psychological safety is the first one is you have people who in all the meetings, the same people speak. And often in a Scrum or Agile team, you find like 2 people plus the Scrum Master who are always exchanging, while the rest of the group is not even engaged in the conversation. You often hear in the aftermath of an incident something like, oh, I should have talked, or I know that I knew that, but I wasn't sure. Oh, next time I'm gonna do this. Well, most of this might be just people who are after the fact trying to rationalize what happens. Some of it might be real concern, real ideas that you want to waste because people were not, or didn't find the right climate to express themselves. Another thing that you should be aware of is if you see the same mistake happen again and again, that means that you need to establish psychological safety. Another sign is when in all meetings or all talks, there is just good things mentioned, no bad things. That's in anybody who work in any company today will tell you that bad things happen all the time. So if the conversation is always moving to just mention how great was that project or how great was that presentation or something like that, and nobody is giving any other kind of feedback, that means that psychological safety is lacking in your place. Another thing is nobody is asking for help. If nobody is asking for any help, you might need to take a look to your team and to your culture and see if it fosters this kind of speaking up. Last thing is people are have the ability of talking behind managers and leaders and seeing things that they cannot see to their face. If you notice any of this sign, that means that you need to work to establish psychological safety in your company. Why my talk is targeted to the level of what I call front-end leaders, which basically Scrum Masters, Agile coach, dev leads, all the group of people who lead from the front. Well, this is because for that kind of role is the best suited to create a culture of psychological safety. They work closely with the team, so they know exactly what is needed, and they are often really trusted by the PO, by developers, by everybody in the team. They have enough understanding of the team and the company dynamics, so they know how things are going. So this is not like just good news. The bad news is being often in that position will mean that you will at the same time have to work with the team and at the same time have to work with the rest of the stakeholders to make sure that that psychological safety work, because psychological safety is something that is cultural and it is set from the top. You have to work with the leaders to make sure that they foster this climate. And once you work to to try to get the team and the organization to a place where everybody can voice their concern. You can then work within your team to move to the next level, which is basically making psychological safety a habit. Habits are automatic responses. I see somebody says something I do not believe to be true, so I respectfully disagree and speak up. This is something that if you manage to internalize it, it can help a lot with making sure that your people practice psychological safety even outside of the team context. The bad news is habits are hard to form. They take a lot of work and they take a lot of time. The good news is there is a lot of research about the subject of habit forming, and it all points to one cardinal rule. Any behavior that is easy and rewarding is repeated, and any behavior that is hard and punishing is avoided. So over the next section, we will see how you can make speaking up easy and rewarding. And we will also see, that we will see that how starting small is one of the core tenets of making any behavior turn into a habit and executed and internalized and executed without even thinking about it. So this is why the role of the Scrum Masters is the best place to start in establishing a culture of psychological safety. Talking as often as possible and meeting the team as often as possible is also something that fosters habit building. And here, working on Agile context is really great, since Agile is based on this interaction. After all, the first principle in Agile is individual interaction over processes and tools. Scrum ceremonies represent one of the greatest places we can start practicing psychological safety, and then move to bigger settings.